Yes, welcome TransMetal to Dinobot. To a new body, a new mind, a new allegiance. And to think I was wondering who to shoot first.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the TransArt Dino Claw Assassin BWM-10. This is their take on the TransMetal 2 version of Dinobot. Now, I'm actually impressed with the size. I didn't think it would be quite this big, and I actually am shocked about the look of it. I had some concerns going into it, and I'm pretty pleased. But we're going to talk about this. I did get this at Shozy Store. I'm going to leave a link down below where you can get yours. Please enter the TH Reviewer code if you want to help the channel out, and I would appreciate that. But we're also going to do some transformation comparison. Yes, we will be comparing it to both versions of the Dinobot and more coming up. Alright, let's take a look at the box here, and it looks pretty standard box art for them. You can see that he is the Dinobot, and it says Dion Claw. There's a misspelling on there. Or is this what Dion turns into later? Oh, I don't know. Who is Dion? There's Dion. Anyway, that's the box. Alright, let's take a look at this big, beefy guy. He looks fantastic. Look at that. Already seeing that vac metal on the chest and shoulders sparkling. But one thing really did surprise me was the sheen of the white part, the white plastic. It looked like it would be a flat matte. In all of the pictures, I didn't see anything that made me think that it was going to be shiny, and it is shiny. I do not believe it is painted. I believe it is literally just the shiny plastic, but I am A-okay with that. There's not going to be any paint chipping or anything like that. And this is one of those things that I would say you're not going to get another one of these, but no, somebody else made one, and I've seen a couple of comparisons. The other one is, from what the reviewers are saying, is not a very good version, and that this one is excellent. So far, I haven't had any problems with it so far, and I think it looks fantastic. Now, I originally didn't like the original G1 toy and the concept of this because the G1 toy looked like just straight trash. I have two versions of that one. We will compare it. But this one makes that concept look really cool and really awesome. So with that, we're going to get in and take a look at this guy overall. But I want to start with looking at the face. See, one of the things about the TransMetals is how they kind of made them look like G1 Dinobots and G1 Transformers. Now, this is a big departure from anything G1 Dinobots would have had. But looking at that face, it looks pretty much exactly like the show. And the silvers are a little bit shiny. Of course, the show made it look like it was metal, and so there was a lot of bling bling in the show, and that's one of the things I like about the show. In fact, the animation is one of the things that people don't like about the show. But still, we got the vac metal even on these parts here, going back onto the chest, and it looks like we've got stuff going to the shoulders, looks like sort of like hoses. This dude was an abomination of his own time, and it was a really, really weird kind of a concept. I don't think any of the other ones aside Cheetor went kind of crazy looking himself, but still, this one looks really good for that version of the character. Getting into these crazy shoulder pads, they kind of go all over the place, up and down. There's a lot of articulation with them. We'll see that in the transformation. Of course, that is part of the transformation, but he has some crazy 1980s shoulder pads going on there. And then another weird thing is he comes with the tail. Now, it's not weird that it attaches, but it's weird how it attaches. You just kind of have to put it on these two tabs and then push it up. And then it is very articulated, even though he's not very articulate. He doesn't really talk in this mode very well. He just makes a bunch of weird noises that I remember. I got to go back and watch it. Well, of course, I will a little bit, put maybe a clip or two in here just so you can see what he looked like in the show to see how well this matches the show. And he is kind of heavy. Now, he is not unstable. He can hold his weight. He has all of those ratchets in there that have him hold in place. Now, a lot of people probably pose this with the tail as a support, and I don't have a problem with that, but it's an option, but the hardware holds him up on his own. So pretty good figure, pretty well built figure overall. So let's go ahead and just jump right into articulation so we can get that out of the way. The head, we go side to side, and then it goes back, and it's a little bit on the lower joint and a little bit on the ball joint. So up and down, you can get quite a bit out of there. Now, the shoulder pads give you some options for how to move the shoulders, but you really are limited because the shoulder pads is one of those things. I mean, you know, ask the ladies from the 80s, did the shoulder pads get in the way back in the day? I don't know about that kind of fashion. We've got bicep swivel right here. You got articulation there, and you got articulation in your claw if you want to get that claw working. And then the hand swivel, and then you've got independent fingers. So finger, 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 and 2 joints. Well, I guess 1 joint. No, 2 joints on all of them except what you might want to call the thumb. Yep, but that one is opposable too. So you've got all this articulation going on in that hand, which I did not expect that much articulation. Then you got a waist swivel right here. Ab crunch. Well, I'm not getting an ab crunch, but I have actually seen an ab crunch somehow, but I'm not getting the ab crunch out of it. So I'm just going to say no ab crunch. And then we can go all the way out to here, up to there, back to there. Tail can get out of the way if you want it to, or plug back in. And then finally thigh swivel, single jointed knee, and ankle. There's no rocker, but up and down. So no ankle rocker on this guy. And again, he can support his own weight. And then, oh yeah, you're going to have articulation in the toes. Toe articulation. That's a good thing. So he does come with some accessories. He comes with this a QR code for the instructions and some decals. I'm not going to use a card. And then a blast effect. Fun stuff, blast effect. And then you got this little critter here, which is kind of like a drone of some sort. And is he upside down? But so let's go ahead and take a quick look at this drone. And yeah, he's all right. It's kind of cool stuff. He's got articulation in these pieces here, or at least that one piece, and it looks kind of like his hand as like an extra drone to go out and do his business. I don't really remember this piece, but I'm pretty sure it'll come back to me when I watch it. I don't remember this, but it does transform. So you can flip this around and then close all this off, and it will transform into here. Close that up, and then close these in. So when you are transforming it from this state, you pull one side out, and then you pull one side out, and then you pull this rest of this out to get it, and then that's how you transform that, and then pull the other pieces out. Now this does store in his tail. Here's his tail. Open it up, and then put it in there where this little extra notch thing is on the bottom, because they created a groove for it. Gotta shove it all in there. Make sure this thing is closed all the way. And there it is, stowed away in its little compartment. You gotta make sure everything's compressed down and aligned right. And there we go with accessories. All right, for size comparison, here he is next to MP10. I just want to start this off by showing how huge. He's huge. Big dude right here. And man, he takes up quite a bit of real estate, especially with that big old long tail. Everything's going on right there. But let's see what he looks like next to the original Dinobot. He also towers over the original masterpiece Dinobot. That's not the Studio Series, which Studio Series looks good, but not that good. This is very big, quite impressive of a figure. And then, of course, we got the G1. Here he is next to the G1, and there are 2 versions. There's a white version and a tan or whatever off-white, discolored-looking version that there was. But this thing is way more impressive than the vintage one. The vintage one was not a great toy at all. And like you could barely make out what the hands were in it. It's just really a strange, weird-looking toy, which maybe not like the character so much, But this is what we should, well, I'm not saying we should have gotten, but this makes the character look a lot cooler, or at least this version of Dinobot a lot cooler. All right, now for the transformation, we are going to start by lifting these 2 tabs up, and then that's going to disengage. These pieces will disengage and fold in, and then getting both of those folded to the middle of the chest, we're going to pop this out here, and this is going to bring out this whole dino head. And I zoomed out as much as I can be because this is big and it is going to do a whole lot of stuff. Now we're going to start doing some stuff with this dino head. Alright, it's going to rotate and then come up to here. I'm supposed to go into this slot like that. Then we're going to lift this all up, and then this is going to do some weird stuff. Now this is going to rotate. This folds down, this rotates, and this goes into this section, but then this folds down into here, and we've got to build the dino face. This piece into this mode, we're going to push that to here, push this down, and then get all this stuff aligned to be a foot. Get the foot to be a foot. This thing is big. It's big. Keeping it all on screen is a bit of a challenge. So just kind of get an idea. We're going to do the same thing to the other side real quick, and we are going to fold this around, fold this claw down, this to the back, and then get this foot into foot mode. Now this is turns into the lower back legs. Now we got all this set up. We are going to lay this dude down. I'm going to flip this part around. So this is going to flip around like this on this joint here. So be careful with that joint. We got to untab this before we flip the waist. And then flip the waist. Get that leg out the way. Flip the whole waist. And then from here we are going to keep it on camera, maybe, hopefully. This is all going to flip around. We're going to hide the head in there. And then from here we are going to have all of this stuff here. That's going to be kind of the stomach part. So we're going to kind of open this up, and then this disconnects, and it's going to be an extending stomach part that goes around. But at this point, we've got to slide these little slider pieces here forward. Come on, slide these. These are like gap fillers. But before we fold that all the way, we got to rotate. Again, we have to rotate this around. Just on the lower rotation. Yeah, this is... There we go. We're left with something about like this. It's going to fold up and... around into here. Okay, that stuff wasn't connecting just right, and I realized I had kind of done something wrong. You're supposed to open this up and then fold this hinge out, and then that makes it all work. Super simple. I overcomplicated something on there, but anyway, not a big deal in the long run. But we're going to stand them. We're going to work on these arms, which it's kind of an interesting arm-leg swap they've got going on. But you got to open this up, and then you got to open this up. This needs to fold out on both sides at that joint. All right, we're going to fold this over like so. This clips into those pieces, and then this tabs into here. and then tabs into here. And then the sides tab in. And then now that all cleans up real good. We gotta come around to the back, make sure that this flaps down, the head's in place, and then this is going to fold into those notches. And then the head has a tab, or the neck tabs into that slot right there. And then these arms fold down on that joint, and then we can kind of get it positioned as Dinobot. Here he is in his Dino mode, and I'll have to admit that I like the bot mode better, but this does match the animation really well. I mean, looking at this, which we didn't really see so much in the bot mode, but this is nice metallic. It's like a chrome, dusty dark chrome. That's kind of cool. You get to see the shoulder pads a whole lot better when he's the hips, and you still have some silver paint right there and all kinds of paint detail. That a lot of the stuff was semi-present in bot mode, but not really at the forefront. Now you see it as definitely part of this. This has a huge tail. Another thing is that when it comes out of the box, this has got articulation on this tail, but it's a ball joint. You just pop it in. It's separate. Yes, he does stand on his own 2 feet without needing his tail to stand. He doesn't need to chase his tail or stand on his tail, stand on his own tail. But getting into looking at this guy, he has that little bit of articulation in the arms. He's got the articulation in his jaw going on there, head, neck joint there, and then the head can go side to side. So he can do some stuff right there. And then the arms give you options to do some stuff. And pretty much the arms are the old legs, and then, well, actually just like the lower half of the legs, and then the legs are the old arms. So definitely an interesting transformation, and kind of a whole lot of fun. At the end of this, the transformation itself is not intuitive at all, but it's not the end of the world kind of a transformation. Probably would have been a little easier if they just included instructions, but that would be an easier way to learn the transformation than just having fun with it. But anyway, there he goes. Let's see what he looks like compared to some other dinosaurs. As big as he is in his bot mode, it feels like he's not as big in the dino mode. There's a Super 7 Grimlock, just because I have Super 7 and I'm a Super 7 shill. You think Brian Flynn would like me more than he does. And then here's Reximus Prime. Oh, man. Hold on. Steel version. Oh, of course, Reximus Prime, available at Show Z store. Probably still in stock. Excellent value. Looks fantastic. I love it. A big improvement from the Takara. It's KO oversized, and it has a much silverier paint job. Here he is next to Megatron, and Megatron has something to say. Oh yes, this version of Dinobot turned out well. The one in the 90s absolutely sucked. And here's how he scales with the TransArt Hover Gorilla. Their take on the Optimus Primal with the TransMetal, and really cool stuff. Loving everything TransArt has put out so far. So this is an excellent version of Dinobot. This is one of those things where I did not at all like the one in the 90s, and this is really cool looking. The fact that it's got the vac metal on it, that looks good. The 90s one did too. The nice sheen to the plastic. The fact that it looks, in my opinion, way better and makes a lot more sense in both modes than the vintage toy. Even though the whole design is just a bit weird and wonky, it really works well. I do like the robot mode way more than the Dinobot mode, and the transformation is not as intuitive as I would have liked, but it gets the job done. There's another competitor out there that's making the same product, but I hear that one is not very good. There's breakage, paint chipping, and it's real floppy. This thing is solid in every mode. It stands on its own. It does everything it needs to do. TransArt is fantastic. But I did get this at Show Z store. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get yours. It's like $120 at Show Z, but if you put the TH reviewer code, it helps the channel out. But let me know what you think about this guy. Is this something you plan on picking up, or is this going to be a pass for you? Was it at least just fun to watch? Like, subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.
Your spark. It stinks of rampage. Perhaps